everybody, Matthew Chum here with Treetop Permaculture, and I wanted to show you guys what's going on behind me. Right above me here is my massive mulberries. I've got one here, which is a cross between the Morris nigra, which is in the front yard there. That's the Morris nigra. It's a red and then it turns dark black at the end, hence the nigra. That's the black mulberry. This one on this far side here is a white mulberry, and in the middle is what I believe is a cross between the two. It's a basically a white mulberry that's been slowly kind of infected, so it's more like a purple mulberry. And so what I've done is, one of my ways until I get the final design set up is to set out a painter's tarp here every day, and then in the morning what I'll actually do is I've got my pole picker, my fruit picker, and I'll just go ahead and come out here every morning and every night, and I'll go ahead and just tap these trees. So let me show you here. And as you can see, so quite a few, this is just one branch, barely touching it. And if I don't do that, then what happens is we got mulberries falling when I don't want them, where I don't want them. So it's kind of cool because I can really position these, branches, bend them down a little bit and stuff. So pretty easy to fill. Now I haven't done this today. I was kind of slacking this morning, so I didn't shake today. But see how the wind is picking up right now? Well, we're dropping them just from the wind. And so there's one that the birds had a little fun with there. But then what I've done, this is my technique with this. So we got the tarps. Now my final design is going to be a carport right here, at least under this fella, and then I'm going to have a shed over there, which I'll have gutters at an angle to buckets, and same with here on the carport. I'll have gutters at an angle with buckets at the end of them, so it should help self-collect a lot of them. Now what I don't get in the tarps or in the buckets in the future, I go ahead and I rake and sweep. I try both. It seems to be easier, at least with my setup, to go ahead and use the broom, and then I broom them all onto this, basically a row. And with, of course, the mulberries, I get a bunch of soil and things like that, and this is where I do my compost, so there's compost in it as well. And so my plan is, my hope is that this will be my mulberry tree production area. I'll just have thousands of little mulberry starts all along this fence, which I can then propagate and put into pots and sell out and put out and do everything I need to do. So it's just a little idea for everybody. And as you can see here, if you don't deal with the mulberries, this is what happens. This is my white mulberry just dumping right now. And I need to come out, and what I should do is have a group of people and every morning kind of come out and oh my god, these are so good. But I'll take the mess. One of the things I'll do is I'll go ahead and have a pair of shoes also that are specifically for outside, and I just take them off before I go in the house. And you should do that with your kids too. Have a pair of sandals or shoes or something But I sweep these up, it gets thrown to the chickens, and goes into the compost pile in this zone. But basically just off of the pathways, and I'm gonna try to keep these trees pruned back, so it is out of the pathway. So at least I got a pathway. I'm not stepping in mulberries. Didn't get to it this year, but that's all right. We'll have a big harvest. So, anyways, I'll show you guys how much I get after I collect off of this tarp. This is just since yesterday. So here's my. I'll probably fill this guy up here, this little pot, or down real close to it. And that's usually what I get per day on one tree the size of mine, here, with little effort. Alright, see you guys next. Okay, here we are, quality control step 1. This is a good opportunity. Here is what I've gathered up from my tarp. So we go through here and we're going to pull out things like this, which most likely had fallen because the birds had eaten off of them. So we don't want that. We don't want leaves, you know, other things that don't look so good. So we're just going to kind of go through, and easy way to do this without having to smush them is just kind of toss it like that, you know. And you're not going to get everything in this step, but it at least helps get the majority of the, you know, not so great stuff out of there. So I just, you know, kind of just want to move it around a little bit. Move it over and get all these fellas like this out of there. And here we got more fallen as I've got this going here. So we've been having wind the last couple of days, so that'll really, you know, drop these mulberries. But like I said, I'm not complaining with such abundance. You know, it's like, wow, how can you complain? Okay, so it's just a couple minutes and I've really removed a lot of the problem stuff, and that's less work after I clean it and stuff. Sometimes I notice little bugs in there, little things like that, you know. So okay, so I don't spend a ton of time on this. The green ones, by the way, you don't really want to eat those. I hear they could be even hallucinogenic, but we don't want that. At least not today. No. Let's see here. Okay, we're looking pretty good. So now I'll fill her up and show you guys how much I got. Okay, so I've gathered and I reset up the tarp, and let's see, look at that. I pretty much predicted, I mean, that thing was, I was like, oh shoot, I'm not gonna have enough room in this bucket. It was right at the brim. So one day, 24 hours, one mulberry, and obviously only a percentage of the tree I'm collecting here. I mean, if I had more space and a bigger tarp, I would be able to cover a little bit more grounds, but it just shows you the potential. And again, you know, I get this about once a day for a month, this kind of production. And what I think is incredible about mulberries is that they put on their leaves and their fruit all at once in the spring, and it's like your first harvest, you know. At least these mulberry, again, there's lots of different types. These mulberries here that I happen to be growing come right on in first part of spring, and it's just interesting because you don't have anything else really to harvest usually this time of year, typically. And just look at that. While I'm talking to you guys, the wind's kicked up. And look, I mean, it's already dropping more. So if we have a good wind today, I mean, by the end of the night, I might have to collect again. And then as it gets, you know, into the peak of it, obviously there's a lot more too. So I'm actually going to have to harvest like 2 or 3 times a day. And obviously because it'll be hotter too, so they don't spoil. Otherwise, I'm just got a lot of compost, a lot of seeds, or a lot of chicken food, which is fine too. But that's where we're at, and so I encourage everybody to grow an incredible mulberry tree, which not only provides quick shade, great fruit, edible leaves when they're steamed, silkworm production, crafting, firewood, and all these things with only the water that nature provides. So why shouldn't you grow a mulberry is the question. Have a good one.